designing this hole here throughout the course of this tutorial series. Over the course of the last couple of videos, we used the distance tool to lay the framework for what the fairway is eventually going to look like, as well as laying the fairway for the green here towards the end. This should be a short video. We're just going to deal with the tee boxes. It's usually about this point when I'm creating that I get really tired of looking at this, what we call fairway burn around the green. And this is about the time where I'll start testing to make sure that everything I'm doing is right. So we're going to go ahead and just do the tee boxes here. I'll end up redoing this later, but this is the basic method of doing tee boxes for those of you who are interested. You have the choice between laying down surfaces as either green or fairway for your tee box. I usually choose green. It really doesn't matter. The only thing it's going to affect is how you're teeing off. You'll want to hover over it and take the size all the way down to 0. The size of the tee box is the only thing from the main menu over here in layout that you can't just change off the bat, so you will have to change that every time. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose my own fairway shape here. So you'll see people who go with the basic shapes like the circles. Or I like to do these long rectangular shapes here and lay them over. Some people go with the more awkward shapes, the Africa tool brush, as I like to call it, over here. For the purposes of this, I'm just going to go with my tried and true right here in the middle. I'm going to delete this real quick. If it lets me. I'm gonna have to move this. Sometimes it gets in the way. I won't let you actually delete it, but typically by hovering over a shape, it'll change it. It should allow me to delete this now. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. So I'm going to create a rectangular green shape. And I'm going to start it more towards the back. I want to leave myself some room for a tee up front for a little bit less distance in case I want to make a different version later. So we're going to make sure that the tee box that we're laying down is angled towards where my fairway is pointed there. I think initially I had it over here, but we're changing it so that it's right here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll move our tee box back. The very next thing that you want to do, don't touch anything, don't move the actual blue square there. You want to back out and immediately go to the rough and click the same shape that you had, move a little bit farther up until the edge of the blue is right over the edge of the fairway burn. Immediately apply it, and you now have this really nice looking tee box complex here. I'm going to go ahead and move my point back to where I want it to be so that we can get our tee back to where it's supposed to. I'm going to end up raising this hill in later videos. This is going to be a downhill tee shot. But for now, let's just say that I'm going to be leaving it normal. This is why you want to use basic shapes when doing toolboxes or tee boxes. It just makes it easier. I'm going to go to a little bit wider than what I'm normally looking at. I'm under the Sculpt Terrain Flatten tool up there. Want to choose the same green shape as the one, or the same tool shape as the one that you laid your green down. You're a little bit overlapping everything, and I like to raise it anywhere between 2 feet to 3.6 and apply. You now have this raised, nice looking tee box. Very pretty. won't always have the tee box overlooking the fairway. Sometimes you'll have an uphill tee shot, but a lot of the shots that you're going to have are going to be the tee box looking down in the fairway. It's just better looking aesthetically. And even if you're hitting an uphill tee shot, there are ways to make it so that the fairway is still in view and you're doing a pretty tee shot. Because after all, this is golf. It's all about looks. So. That's actually the end of this video. We're just creating that tee box. Later we'll be making some other tee boxes here for shorter tees to give it the impression of a professional golf complex. But that's it. Next fairway or next one we'll be looking at where we're wanting to place our bunkers in the next video. So see you then.